Well, it's been a while, but we've managed to make our way to the end of side A from Appetite for Destruction, and we've landed on one of the most beautiful and exceptionally difficult pieces of music of all time. This is Paradise City, signature track from Guns N' Roses. They very often end their gigs with this one. There was a recent performance with Dave Grohl, came out and sort of jammed away with them. There's so much technically to have a look at here. So we're going to start off with the intro. First things first, before we dive in, it's E-flat tuning, so we're tuned down a semitone. So just bear that in mind as we dive into Paradise City. So the first thing you need to know is that you're on a clean tone. You're on the bridge pickup of your guitar, and you've got to have a chorus pedal turned on. Now I've put some settings of the chorus pedal that I use, which you can check out here. I would highly recommend this chorus pedal, just because it has a lot of variety and a lot of sounds available, but it really captures pieces of music like this, Paradise City, and also Sweet Child of Mine, which we're going to get onto as we continue our Appetite for Destruction lesson series. I would highly recommend getting hold of this pedal if you're interested in a chorus. Without it, it can still sound pretty good, but we're going to dive in here with the chorus. So notes-wise, you're playing with a G chord, a C chord, and an F chord. So those chords just on their own. That's the G, then you've got the C with that extra G in the top. Then you've got the F with the G in the top, so it's like a sustain. And then there's a little turnaround. So that's the first point. The second point, which is something I find particularly interesting, is that on the album version of this piece of music, it's actually slightly different to how it has always been played live. You'll see a lot of lessons telling you to stick in an extra note in the pattern here. So that extra B note there with the extra up pick is basically how Slash plays it live all the time. However, on the album version, if you listen carefully, which I've done many times, you can't hear that note being played because it isn't played. Now, I think that gives this intro actually a bit more of a rhythmic, cooler feel. Without that extra note, it actually has a little bit of sort of pause and give and take. So without the note, whereas with the note, of course, it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't feel as cool to me. But anyway, we're going to stick with the album version because that's what we've done with all these lessons here. But in brackets, I put the extra up pick for you, and that does continue each time round. Sometimes there's an extra B note with an up pick in the live situations, like the little note says. So let's dive in then. The picking pattern as well is absolutely key with this introduction. Without the picking pattern, without following it, you're going to really struggle to play it. I can only really manage to get my head around this one because of the way the picking is done. So the first G is the only one where you really spread it out slowly like that with an arpeggiation. So you drag your pick across the notes, just like that. And then it's down, up, up. And then you're going to skip out the bracketed note and you're going to do a down. And then it's down, up, up. So one more time for that first bar. And then this is the bit where it gets interesting. So two open notes. And then you're going to hammer on the C shape. So again. Another thing to mention, by the way, is that this first fret, first finger on the B string here is the note that you're always returning to after these shapes. A lot of people play open Gs and other stuff. If you listen really slowly on the album, it always goes. It always keeps coming back there, so make sure that you do the same thing as well. Then the F chord. So this is kind of one of the more difficult patterns here. So you're doing a hammer on those F notes. So the third and second fingers, and then you're going to hear. And then same as the previous hammer on situation. Then lift everything off. 2 open strings and then back to the G. Now the way this G is played is not quite as arpeggiated as the first time. And also you don't actually play the top note in bar 4, you just hear. And then you're going to hear the pattern again. So the way this bar 4 works. So the way bar 4 works is you play that chord but just play the lower strings. And then you hear this. Up. And then this is the turnaround here, so. Just like that. And you return to simply that D note here. But as you're playing that D note, you're recreating your opening G chord pattern like that. And then you're ready, in position to carry on in bar 5 after that open note. So that's how you tackle the intro section. We're going to run it through one time now, a little bit slower than it's played live, just to make sure you can follow along. I'll do the picking pattern as is written down and just try and keep up with the tab here. So what happens then, just as I was about to play the turnaround there, is it carries on another few times, but the "Take Me Down to the Paradise City" singing comes in. So this carries on underneath. Scrolling along to bar 15, and then that's where it changes. You get these 3 chords. If you listen carefully on the album, that's what happens before you hit the mega power chord. So that's just an F, a C, and then you've got a G, but you're not playing the second finger or the second string. Just gives it a nice plain and open sound. So you're still on the bridge pickup and you've lost your chorus pedal now. You've turned that off from the introduction. This is where it's kind of an interesting sequence here. So you've got this G. A lot of people think it's like played like this. But actually, Slash always plays it live like that. Which actually makes it quite tough to kind of move your fingers around. But anyway, you've got that G. The second string and finger is not really used. And you do these double dead picks. Then you've got the same thing following that. And then you come back down for the... So that C chord has this note in it. So flatten that third finger across. And then this F is first, third and fourth fingers. And then drop down. When you're playing this chord, you're not playing the top 2 strings, by the way, you're just hitting the bottom ones. That's the hardest one to come down again for it. Then when you mute again, you have to really mute the strings there. Sometimes live Slash will do a bit of vibrato as well. Now, before you get into the soaring solo, if you're the rhythm guitar, then you play those two little picks again. But if you're Slash, you don't bother. He often slides up like that. But really, on the album, you just hear him getting to this 12th fret. Neck pickup, by the way. And a lot of this little tune is sort of played on the edge of breaking through with harmonics and pinch harmonics. So when he plays it, it's not just... You can almost hear the slight tilting of the pick and the thumb dragging, and you get... That's quite a good one with the bend down. There's also an extra live note. If you hear Slash play this live, he goes... Just so you know, there's that little live variant. But this is how it's played on the album version. So what you want to do is you want to hammer on, down, up, then next, and then down, up again. 15th fret on that B. And then this is a second finger. And back with the third. Third finger here. Then you're coming over with the second for this. And then... Now it took me ages to work out this little turnaround here. How could it be played successfully? So there's two approaches that Slash uses. One is to use the third finger, up pick here, and then use the second finger, which I would recommend. That's why I've written it as option 1. Sometimes, in a live situation, you'll hear Slash go second finger, and then third. So whichever one you find easier, I would recommend, but I personally like sliding in with the second finger behind and doing that vibrato with the full. Next time the riff comes round, it's just very slightly different here. So the hammer on again. Second finger. So that's a pull off there, and then up. And third finger then over like this. Then you get the whistle, and then you do a slide up and down. Then you're going to go into verse 1, which is on the bridge pickup. Still in E-flat tuning, we've got a little slide down the first time it gets played. You're on the bridge pickup and you've got your distortion on here. And really this riff is quite easy. So it's down pick, down, up, down, then the same again. So one more time. I suppose the main thing to bear in mind is that when you're crossing the string, it's a down, down pick. And a little bit of, just a touch of palm muting. Same again with the down pick, so here. And a little bend. And once again, this is another line which is almost breaking into harmonics here. So you've got a little bit of just kind of tilting the pick a little bit more of an angle, and it sounds more like this. And like these notes, for example, especially that third fret here, often sort of is verging into the harmonic territory. But just remember those down, down pick patterns. So. So the next time it comes round, I've just notated above in bracketed notes that on the album you hear a second guitar line that Slash has recorded, which is a fifth above. So it has the effect if you played them both. Which obviously you can't play at the same time like that, but that's why it sounds so kind of dirty and heavy. Sometimes in interviews, Slash says he recorded it an octave above. Now there is a guitar that plays an octave above, which is the Izzy line, but actually this is a fifth above, which is why it sounds absolutely monstrous and heavy. So let's just run through from bar 37. We'll play Slash's line that he plays live. Little time signature change there, and then you've got just third finger bend, and then you go back down to the main riff again. So I've written Izzy's line in just above here, just in case you're interested. Izzy's line is an octave above, but it does it with a more sort of funky feel. So so Izzy's line is just notated above one time in bar 45. We'll carry on with Slash's line though for now. And again, that harmonic, you can aim for a pinch harmonic there. Sometimes it comes out. Bar 47. And now this is Slash's part here. Sometimes he doesn't always play the open string, so you get... Izzy's line goes like this. Above Slash's part in bar 50. Sometimes live. And Izzy bends. So that's Izzy's line, which is over the top of Slash's line. Then we go back to chorus 1, which we've had before. I'll just run you through that. This is just for completeness' sake. And then we're back in verse 2, which we're going to crack on with now. This is more Slash doing his thing. 63. Bar 67. Sometimes Slash does this as a live option, just in case you wanted a little power chord in there. Same again. Then chorus 2, we're obviously carrying on because it's the same as what we've done before. Power chords down. Same thing as actually what happens in Night Train, interestingly. You've got that kind of move down to an F. And then you get the... So you're on this 3rd fret on the D string, you've slid in. This is quite straightforward. Then it goes. So a little bend. I'd recommend bending away from yourself, actually. Just a little bit cleaner, and Slash tends to bend away when he can get away with it. And then open string there, which gives you time to set up here onto this pattern, which is a 5th fret bend with a 3rd finger. And you're letting that first note ring as well, so. And sliding up with the 2nd finger. Then you've got a replacement, and then you put your 3rd finger on it and do a pinch harmonic. And then release. And then you're going for sort of slight pinch harmonics again. Then this is all palm muted here, so you've got lots of vibrato there. And then you get this unusual bit where you bend away from yourself, bend away with the 2nd and 3rd finger. Then you do the 3rd fret with the 1st finger, and then you go. Quite an unusual section, that, isn't it? You get. Tough one, this one, but we're going to learn it together. So the essential idea is to do the 10th fret that's the kind of main riff, if you like, and you're on the neck pickup, by the way, here. So bar your 1st finger across, and then your 2nd finger does a hammer on, and then up, so down, up, and then down, down, with another hammer on. So each top string is played with an up pick, basically. Then you move it all down 2 frets to the 8th. I think that's kind of okay once you've got the pattern there and the string skip. But when it changes up here, and it took me ages to discover that Slash has been playing this in 3 different ways. That was way number 1. The next bit is you slide in with the 2nd and 1st finger. And then same again. So the way to really do this is to take your 1st finger, start on the 9th fret, do that, but with the 2nd finger held down, so. Same again. Now, the reason I've written some of the notes as doubles, so in bar 92, when it slides in the first time, for example, you've got Slash often doubles the first time, and then cleans up. And then same again. So you hear that doubling the first sort of iteration. And then this is when it changes one more time, bar 94. So you slide in bar 94. Then you lose the rest, so you get. So one more time from bar 94. And that is the end of the bridge section, which is nuts. We'll just keep going with the alternate verse pattern, because once you've done that, you slide down and you end up here on your G string on the 4th fret here. So you land back here, back on the bridge pickup, and you get a bit more vibrato on the 4th frets though. It's the 4th and 2nd finger, by the way. And then the way that Slash tackles the next section is he drops down to the 2nd fret, slide to the 5th, vibrato, slide up to the 10th, 9th, And then you've got a really weird turnaround where you get... So third finger, pull off, and then fourth fret. And the third fingers are used throughout that, which is kind of odd. Back to chorus 3, this is a slight variation, so we'll just run you through this before we get to solo 2. So then you get... So same again, hammer-ons. That's an optional note there. It's not played on the album, so just go for second finger. And third finger there because you're going to go for... So this is interesting because you're going to use the third finger here, and then second sneaks in. Then back with the third finger on the 14th at the end of that bar. Then we go round again. Bit of vibrato. And then you do this fourth finger, third finger, then a full bend and release. So this one here. And then this is a second finger. And then a 13th fret with the third finger. And then pre-bend. And then you slide up. Same again. So on the intro riff here, you're back on the bridge pickup and you're going for... Make sure you do the down-down picks there. Same again. Drop it. It's a little slide up there. Quite a slow slide actually. Slide in a little bit. And then, so a full bend on that 10th there, and then drop it again. And then there's the beginning of the outro solo here. So we're up to the next pickup, and then we're on this 12th fret here. And then we're doing this double third finger on the 5th frets. And then you get this. And then you're diving up. I'm going to use the second finger to end on this 14th fret here. So that's that first little line, and then it goes from there in bar 135 to the 12th fret, and then stretch up. So that's the typical Slash pattern there. 4th finger. So 3rd finger with a bend up. And then you switch to this 2nd finger. And then as long as you end on the 18th fret there, bending up 2. Pretty cool. Then you've got this crazy section coming. So what happens here is you get, those are the picked notes. But then there's also a 5th fret with a 2nd finger. And Slash does it so quickly, it kind of sounds like a little bit of a mess. That's kind of how you achieve it, and you've got to go for it really, really, really fast. Kind of like that, really. It's nuts, isn't it? And then you slide up here. So that's the next section. Then you slide up here. And then you hear, and it's the same thing again. So you bend away from yourself, release, and then come towards yourself. And then you get this fast run here. Jump up. And then it jumps up. And then slides down there. It sounds a lot better when it's fast, but these are the notes that are played. Bar 154 right now. And then you're going to slide up at some point to the first finger. So you've got to use these notes here. Then it's still an 8 pickup, and then you're going to do this ridiculously fast section here that goes. So you do this muted. You gradually release the palm. Then you just jump up to there. Make sure you use that second finger here when you're doing this. Jump. And then we're on the outro here, so and then we're doing this cool pattern on the outro here, so so that's how the first section works. You're doing it kind of slowly with a bend. So that happens a few times. And then it changes to... So it's like a sort of repeating pattern there. So you get the hammer on, 1 4 1, and then the second finger is a bend. And then once you've done that round a few times, you get drop the third finger. And we're on the very last little lick, so it comes to the 11th fret here. And that's it. In the background you hear it's kind of up here. But the kind of outro lick here is essentially done with these notes. So you get the and we're done. One of the hardest solos ever. I've tried to tab it out for you, so if you want the specifics, you can learn how to play them by slowing it right down and gradually increasing the pace of it. That was a tough lesson. I hope you enjoyed the very slow run-throughs of that. Check out some of the other content we've got for you, some of the other lessons. Thanks for watching our Appetite for Destruction playthrough. We've done side A. Like and subscribe, and we'll carry on with side B of the album. But in the meantime, take it easy, have a break. We'll see you soon.